Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, it's another Dominican Republic Weekly, episode 6. We have a lot to talk about, especially if you're a tourist, especially if you're a business investor, a real estate investor. You need to watch this because it just keeps getting better and better. Tourism numbers all-time record high through the first 9 months. New train coming. Oh, yes. And now flights from Punta Cana to the interior of the Dominican Republic. This and so much more. So please stay tuned and welcome again. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I thank you so much for being here. And please share the videos in case you are a real estate investor interested in buying real estate in the Dominican Republic and or doing business in the Dominican Republic. I highly suggest you get in on our November 6th through the 8th, 2023 Real Estate Investors and Business Forum. Lawyers, realtors, brokers, excursion packages. That's right. And furniture people. They will be in the house to talk to you. That's right. It does cost though $199 each person unless you're part of the SSN Lifestyle Founders Club, which means you and another person do not have to pay the $199 fee. And we're going to projects around Punta Cana region, just so you can get firsthand knowledge of the distances, the lay of the land. That helps out as well. But please, the link is down below or go to ssnlifestyle.com. Now, Dominican Republic Weekly starts now. Check this out. Can you believe these numbers, ladies and gentlemen? Something that I went by before, and it has passed already. This is from June. But I thought this was worthwhile for everybody that's thinking about investing. If you know these numbers, write it down. 57% of tourists who visited the Dominican Republic in May carried out activities outside hotels. So let me give you an idea of what we're talking about here. If you have roughly 7 million tourists, and you have 3.5, almost, well, actually 4 million tourists using excursion packages or traveling outside of where they're staying at the hotel. That means you get numbers like what we heard about the Macau activities excursion that has over 1 million tourists a year that use their excursion package. That is significant. That's in Macau. That doesn't even include the other excursion locations and packages. So if you have that type of number, that is great for business owners, great for real estate investors, great for a lot of the economy in Dominican Republic. So I just wanted to let you see this because I'll have a link down below for this article and many, many more. If you are interested in buying real estate in the Dominican Republic, pre-construction is suggested the way to go. Why? No credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. You put down 10%, 20% in the most cases. Then you pay over 2 years or 3 years or 1 year, depending on the length of time you have, at 0% interest for your down payment of 20, 30, 40%. And then at the end of that time, you're going to owe 60, 50, or 40%. That's when you have to pay cash, or you find a bank to also fund it. Also at the SSN Lifestyle Real Estate Investors in Business Forum will be bank representatives, so you can hear exactly from them what you're going to need in order to make sure that you are able to get funding. How about that? Is this all worth the weight of gold? Two of the best lawyers in the Dominican Republic are going to be at your disposal to ask questions. That's right. No additional cost. So once again, let's keep moving. I also wanted to show you something else that's happening. Air Century expansion, 6 new air routes from Punta Cana Airport. What does that mean? They are going to other locations. Look at here, Havana, which by the way is the #2 tourist destination in the Caribbean. That's right, Cuba. Who knew, right? San Martin, which is Saint Martin, I'm pretty sure. Aruba, Cartagena, Curacao, and Puerto Rico. Air Century's Omar Shahin explained that this expansion aims to provide more than 200,000 seats for tourists from these destinations. That's an additional 200,000 on top of the record. Now, I don't know if he's going to reach his goal, but I think he will, because they are short trips, and a lot of people don't want to take boats. They'll take the short trips as long as the price is right. I remember as a kid, I'll tell you a story. In Puerto Rico, my mom, we come out to the flight line to the airport. They have prop planes to go over to the Virgin Islands. I turned around and said, I'm not going. All right, just so you know, back in the day, I didn't want to be Roberto Clemente, off the coast in the water. So I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going. So they went to the Virgin Islands. But nonetheless, this is a long time ago, and now air travel is much, much safer than it used to be. But there goes another reason for you to understand more tourists, more business, more things are going your way in that island. Now, a lot of you who have real estate or planning on doing Airbnb in the Dominican Republic, you need to pay attention to this. Collado reveals new date to regularize Airbnb. That's right. There'll be a link down below for this. A lot of you are disillusioned. What I mean by disillusioned, just like in the United States, people in Canada, people are sitting around there living in a residential neighborhood who does not have authorization. Your HOA doesn't give you authorization. Residential neighborhood means residential, which means you can't do hotels in a residential neighborhood. And so therefore, regulations have come into play all over the world. Well, guess what? Look who's also joining the regulation. You know why they want to regulate it? Do you understand how much money there is if you have 1 million room nights or 1 million reservations on an island, and the tax is nothing more than $10? That's $10 million that could have been in the coffers of the country. This right here is the first thing for starters. The second thing for starters is the responsibility of a government is to make sure that when you zone something residential, people can't just put in hotels, stores, and shops. Now, that with me saying all of that, here's the situation. Collado has announced that in October, the final phase of discussions will be reached to establish an agreement aimed at regulating vacation rental platforms. So announced in this month of October. All right, with the platform currently offering a total of 93,000 rooms. All right, he emphasized that while these platforms can be regularized by the Ministry of Tourism, the ministry cannot directly collect taxes from them. Now there goes a problem. So therefore, what else is going to happen? They're going to lean on you know who, Airbnb. Airbnb says, as you can see down here, has shown willingness to cooperate with this tax requirement. That's who's going to be collecting the tax, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. Otherwise, they're going to ban them from being able to do it. So, of course, Airbnb is going to do what they've always done. Throw the host under the bus. All right? It's that simple. And they can't get around it, period. So I shouldn't, in all fairness, I shouldn't say throw their Airbnb hosts under the bus. But nonetheless, concerning the tax payment, responsibility lies with General Directorate of Internal Taxes. He noted that the tax is not paid by the Dominican citizens, but by Airbnb itself. Exactly, that's what's going to happen. Everybody that makes a reservation, just like on your normal booking platforms, you pay taxes. Just like when you make airfare, you pay taxes. It's going to be passed on to the consumer, which is more than fair. That's how it's supposed to work. What do you think? That's how the United States government was supposed to operate. And that's why Nevada operates like they do, because your businesses were supposed to pay the tax. Citizens were never supposed to pay tax. But that's another story for another day. So I'm happy to see this. And you know why I'm happy to see this? Because again, when I told you, do property investments in amenities locations that have been approved for Airbnb with their HOA behind closed gates, that insulates you. And when they have hotels on the property, that insulates you from not being able to do Airbnb. In essence, already approved, as long as the HOA has approved it and as long as the structure of the business or the developer says it's short-term rentals and got comfort tour and everything else, right? Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's keep going. 7.6 million tourists through September. Dominican Republic reaches a historic record. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think, like I told you, you knew they were going to get to 8 million, didn't you? You've been watching, you've been listening, you've been here watching the Dominican Republic today or weekly. You've been here. 7.6 September. This is awesome. You know what else is awesome? This is what's awesome. $7,000 million. That is $7 billion in the economy for the Dominican Republic. Are you getting your part of this pie? Well, don't worry. You can get in right now. I just dropped videos with Gwen at Larimar. You can still buy one bedrooms at Larimar. There's still one left for $94,000 in Tower 3 or Tower 4. I don't remember which one. There's others for $99,000 for a one bedroom. And you can get two bedrooms starting at around $150,000, $160,000. You better get in now, especially at Larimar. If you missed those videos, I highly suggest you go check it out. Seriously, there's so many updates coming. They're blowing this talk about amenities and talk about projects out of the ballpark. All right, here we go. I'm going to keep giving you 5 reasons why the Dominican Republic is having its best year on record for travel. This is part of the reasons as an investor that you should be thinking about this. This is why I'm doing the Dominican Weekly. All right? That's why we're doing this. Dominican Republic smashing multiple travel records this year. And look at here. Country gears up to welcome over 10 million tourists by the end of 2023. This is going to happen. But we don't care about the total of tourists because they include cruise. They include other factors. We know it's going to reach 10 million tourists. We're interested in air travel. It will not be 10 million air tourists. It's only going to be probably somewhere by the estimation, 5 million, somewhere in that ballpark. 9 to 10 million tourists by air. Mark your calendars. 2025, that's when it's going to happen. All right, mark your calendars. I've been telling people 9.5 to 10 million by air is going to be 2025. So, excellent safety, a friendly and welcoming culture. That's fine. We can deal with that. We expect that. Safety conscious travelers. Now, let's get into soaring aerial connectivity. Well-connected international airports. There's 7 or 8, depending on who you talk to, but I always say 8. And they have several other local that aren't international airports. And again, I started this off with telling you, Punta Cana is going to be going to other destinations. So when somebody's coming from around the world, you can't find direct flights. All of a sudden now you're going to have a layover in Punta Cana to go to Santiago, to go to Puerto Plata, to go to other places. So that is very, very awesome. And that also means more tourists are coming to the island. More people who maybe just visiting, hanging out with family and friends are coming to the island. Either way, that means money in your pocket as a business owner. All right. Now, the country's largest aerial hub, Punta Cana International Airport, handles over 8 million passengers per year. What did I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? Having just wrapped up a nearly 100 million renovation program, JetBlue, American Airlines, Air Canada, all right, is a major target. Now, new exciting destinations. Michis, including Sabao, if I pronounced that right. Leading cruise ship hubs, La Romana, Puerto Plata. Now, there's a distinction between cruise ship participants and air participant. Cruise ship participants are usually, if they come, they land day before, a couple days before, then on the way out, stay a day, a couple days. Rarely have I known, because I used to be in the travel business, anybody to go, I'm staying a week, then I'm going on a cruise for a week, then I'm going to stay a week after. That rarely happens. Usually it's always 2 or 3 days before, 2 or 3 days after, and not in that particular order. Some people will land the day before, then they'll leave 2 or 3 days after, or vice versa. So just giving you an idea what to expect. Exciting new accommodations. I talked about this last week. So again, check out episode 5. So this theme park at Kathmandu Park to Puerto Plata's famous golf course. There's famous golf courses all over the place. International Resorts, Malia, Four Seasons, and Hyatt. Yes, all 3 of these companies are adding not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, all over the island. They're adding like 5 or 6 projects all over the island. In Punta Cana, they all are adding more than 1. Cap Cana, then in Macau, then over by La Romana, and then in Punta Cana. I mean, they're getting outrageous, and you have to be excited if you're an investor. So again, there'll be a link down below for this. And once again, this is that tourist, this World Tourism Day. He's touting the 7.6 million visitors in the 3rd quarter. I have to give him props for all of this. This man and Abinator are doing a hell of a job because they realize billions of dollars can float into the economy. Here it is, contributes more than $7.7 billion in foreign currency, which is what you want. You want those dollars, whether they're euros or USA dollars. So again, I just had to reiterate again, 7 Dominican Republic destinations are trending with travelers right now. That's right, you guys, are you not understanding what's happening here? You understand. Bavaro, Punta Cana, we already know. Remember, that's one of, look, this is one of the top 5 places to stay in Punta Cana, right? El Cordacito Los Corrales was the old destination where everything was there. Nightclubs, bars, restaurants, beaches, walking distance, less than 5 minutes. So that was the perfect location. Until all that jungle that was sitting there, people decided to finally go, hey man, we got a lot of visitors coming over here. We need to do something else. In fact, some people might want to live here. All right, so here we are. La Romana by eBay. Does this ring a bell? Del Mar Residences ring a bell, and by eBay with Mr. Estacio. Remember, he's going to be at the November 6th through the 8th as well. Get your tickets. The link is down below. You're going to ssnlifestyle.com, and you can go to shops, and you'll see the tickets for sale, $199 each. All right, and that'll get you. He's coming as well. If you don't know about by eBay, search the channel. Boca Chica outside of Santo Domingo, about 30 to 45 minutes. Again, Santo Domingo is growing itself. People who are in Santo Domingo want to leave, and where do they go? One of the beaches is Boca Chica. And guess what else? If you're an investor, they have still cheap property to invest in, cheap business structure that you can set up there while the going is good. So remember, put these in your banks as places. This is what we do. We study. And of course, we already know about Puerto Plata, right? Sosua, Puerto Plata area. They have a cruise ship port, international airport over there as well, and all inclusives. So again, this is another hot spot on the northern shore. But just keep in mind, number 1 location, 60 to 70% of all visitors to the Dominican Republic by air land at ding, 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 Punta Cana Airport. Santo Domingo, again, this right here is popping off lately. But again, Santo Domingo, culturally, it's a major, it's the largest city. So again, this is why a lot of people go there. But 6, 7, 8% of all tourists that land in Dominican Republic go to Santo Domingo. That just gives you an idea. Samana is now on the radar. It's untapped. Once again, you have business-wise, you have residential, real estate, you can make deals all over this island that 2-3 years from now is going to be very, very different. Santiago de los Caballeros, The original capital in DR has all of the historic cultural places that you should be checking out. So these are hot spots that people are going to be traveling at. Those are the 7. And here's Abinader. Remember that La Romana? Abinader once again cutting ribbons. Malecon in La Romana. That's right. And they are about to spend some millions of dollars to get it done. So you thought by eBay La Romana was just going to stay this small little touristy town? Well, if you think the rich guys over there at Campo, I can't remember the name of that complex, but the rich spots over there, they're not going to stop building. And once again, I can't read Spanish that well anymore, so I won't try to. But anyhow, they're doing the Malecon over there, and I'll just change this up. New boardwalk in La Romana, and 88 million pesos, and you guys are going to have to do that translation to USD, but nonetheless, it's millions. 576 linear meters of cobblestone road, La Playita Park in La Romana, 980 square meters of marine coastline. So once again, smart. This is how you create a location for tourists to come. Now, here's the creme de la creme. So everybody thought you got to take the international airports, go to another location and land. Wrong. How about a train? New tourist train launching from Punta Cana to this exciting cultural destination. Can you believe this, ladies and gentlemen? I love it. That means now all those tourists who land at any of the airports can now move around the island. Very, very smart once again. If you're going to have 10 million tourists visit your island, you want them to not just be able to stay at the hotel, right? Most people stay at their all-inclusives because they realize once I go out, I got to get a vehicle, I got to get Uber. Then once I get Uber, I got to get to my destination. Then I got to deal with Uber back again. But now you can sit there and say, take me to the bus or take me to the train station. And now I can go to Santo Domingo, possibly, well, definitely. I can go over to La Romana. I don't have to worry about, hey, I got to go get a rental-car, drive on these crazy roads that I don't understand. I don't have to do any of that. All I have to do is hit a train. Welcome to the Eurozone, just like Europe, right? Get on trains, roll. You don't have to worry about a car. That's beautiful work right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Punta Cana guests will no longer be isolated. That's the exact word to use. New train linking Punta Cana to Santo Domingo. This is the best thing for Santo Domingo ever. Do you know how many people in Santo Domingo would drive to Punta Cana? Or wouldn't drive, shall I say, to Punta Cana? Now, how many of those millions of citizens are going to take the train over to Punta Cana, where all the hot stuff is? You guys know what's going to happen. You don't think that's going to add another 500,000 to 1 million more people just on the train itself? Never mind the amount of people they'll say, well, I'll drive. Think about this. You are in the midst of a revolution unlike any other. It's like the Industrial Revolution of the United States. So again, I hope this helps you out greatly, and welcome to another Dominican Republic Weekly, episode 6, October 1st edition. I appreciate you being here, but please make sure you smash that like button. And with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but knowledge gives you information that helps you financially. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.